Hanging out with the loved ones, and Mike is actually sitting off camera, but he's totally here rapping his drumsticks and doing blow with groupies and stuff like that before the show. Absolutely. And of course, Dave has peeled himself away from the groupies.
Groupies for me, man.
Long enough to hang out and talk.
It's not my thing. I'm married. So.
Yeah. At least while the camera's on, there's no groupies and
no
or
cameras
anything
on
like that. Exactly.
I'm always married.
Okay. The Spider left the band just over a month ago. Or just about a month ago.
Yeah,
actually.
I think maybe even under a month ago.
Okay.
What's today?
22nd?
Yeah, it was less than a month ago.
Let me just say that off camera, Mike the drummer has just changed clothes and is in a very sexy,
very nice pair of
skinny
pants.
striped shirt right now.
Thank you.
Oh man. Oh, that's great stuff. So anyway, Spider left the band about a month ago. And did you know it was coming? Or
No,
was it kind of
not at all.
It was a surprise?
A total shock.
Really? And how was that as far as, the tour was planned beforehand, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Okay, so how much of a scramble was that for you guys to get stuff together for the tour? Was the tour in danger of being canceled?
No, never in danger of being canceled, no. We knew, Mike and I knew that as soon as we knew that Spider was leaving, we couldn't blow off the tour because one person,
And how long did it take you guys to get the guys from the Explosion to come on in and help you out?
Well, actually, I'm pretty sure I had contacted Dave about playing second guitar
before
Spider left, right?
Yeah.
And he agreed, and which we were real excited about.
Because you had second guitar for a little while during the last tour.
Yeah, we try to bring on a second guitar player when we tour. I think it fills it out and it allows a little bit more freedom on stage and more music to come out.
And on the record, it sounds like you've got
it's
guitars,
multi-track, so there's
right.
But so Dave obviously is in a band with Chris and Dave are in a band together, and in the same neighborhood. And Chris had been playing a lot of bass for things he was writing, and just ended up calling us, right, and saying, "Hey, I would love to do it." So we said, "Okay, great." We had asked a couple other people in the initial scramble, but then he came through, and Dave said, "Yeah, he plays great," and so it just worked out perfectly. But we had 2 practices before the tour.
Yeah, only one with Walsh.
Yeah, it was a little
scramble. It sounds like.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was very untimely.
And this is the 5th show. Tonight's the 5th show, correct?
Something like that.
5th or 6th show, if I'm not mistaken.
Feels like about the 100th.
Well, the 5th show of this current tour.
Oh yes,
I should say exactly. So basically, you guys, instead of having time together to gel, you're kind of getting it together as you've been on the road.
I don't know. I personally think that oftentimes gelling has to do with personalities being able to align, and that work has been done over the course of many years with these 2 characters. We know and love them, and so we know we play similarly. The Explosion and the Loved Ones aren't that different of an approach. So yeah, I feel great about it. Okay, I'm having a great time on this tour.
And when this tour is ending? Middle of February? End of February?
Beginning of February.
February
10th, I think.
So you guys are doing about 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a little break. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I know, I was talking, actually, Michael, I was talking with you beforehand when I was in here earlier, and I know you guys have been on the road for, the better part of a year, if not longer. I saw you guys down here with No Effects the day that Keep Your Heart was released.
Oh, yeah, that was
you
great.
guys played down the street at Revolution.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I kind of ragged on you guys because you said something from the stage. I'd never heard of you guys before. And from the stage, you said something like, our record's coming out today, we'll be out there at the merch table. And I said to my girlfriend, oh yeah, well, everyone's going to be hanging out there while No Effects is playing. And here you are a year later, so I'm kind of eating my words right now because you guys are out here playing. And
yeah, well, that's good. Heckling is always helpful.
Yeah, well, I wasn't yelling it out necessarily. I didn't want anybody jumping off and kicking my ass.
But, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully that doesn't have to happen ever.
But it's been, a year that you've been on the road with this record almost. How's it been, and how have the sales of the record been, and how's the response been?
Everything's great. Europe, we just went to last month.
I was going to ask you about that.
We'd never been there, and by the time we got, the United Kingdom shows were unbelievably positive. We couldn't believe it. It was just London and Leeds was like playing Philly and New York. It was incredible.
What kind of difference do you see with European audience, I guess I should say, as opposed to American audience? Because you guys have been, not just with the Loved Ones, but with other bands. Because you've been teching with other bands, and you guys have been playing with other bands for so long.
It's refreshingly positive, and there's a lot less nonsense in terms of the way that music is forced down people's throats in the States and then abandoned and put.
They're very attentive.
Yeah, very attentive, very supportive, and not as caught up in like the trendy concept of music as being a disposable thing. I think in America, there's such an approach to music as by audiences that where it's regarded as a disposable thing that you can just get for free, and when you're over it, you're over it. Not all the time. I mean, we've had a really great American audience too. I'm not saying per se Loved Ones audiences. I'm saying a lot of the audiences we played to supporting other bands, bigger bands. Situations where you could just tell they didn't, it wasn't quite getting through. So that's what I would say the main difference about European audiences.
Okay, what do you guys see as far as, traveling around the country, like you teching with other bands for so long, and playing with your own band, what do you guys see with differences as far as different towns, with the responses that you get, and places that you're really surprised with the kind of response that you get, where you didn't think that you would get it? Where?
Iowa City.
Iowa City.
Yeah.
Really?
That place is great. It's like playing a rodeo or something.
Really? Okay, what happened there? Because you just jumped out.
It's because consistently we've played Gabe's Oasis. We played this place called Gabe's Oasis, and we played there, and it was a great show. But coming into Iowa City in the van, just instinctively you turn to each other and you're like, oh shit, Iowa City. Oh god, we're playing Iowa City tonight? And then you get in, you walk in the club, you're like, wait, didn't we have a really good show here last time? And Dave was like, yeah, actually we had a great show. And sure enough, that night again, awesome show. It's just crazy. Why Iowa City?
Do you remember the name of the place that you played in Iowa City?
Yeah, Gabe's Oasis.
Gabe's Oasis.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
All right, so Gabe's Oasis. If anybody sees this video from Gabe's Oasis, there you go. Represent.
Yeah, we're totally repping Gabe's.
All right, awesome. There you go. Yeah. Make sure I get this
give
over
us
there.
more money.
Yeah, exactly.
And the money's good. That's another reason to support Gabe's Oasis. Exactly. All right.
But there's a couple of surprising places. I don't know. In Canada there was a lot of surprises.
Really?
This town, Thunder Bay, which is in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere. And that show was wild. Rollicking, good time in the car.
I'm scared to walk around.
Yeah, I think that sometimes, what's sort of happening in the States is you have the coast where bands are always there, always come. There's a show every night, there's a million bands, and sometimes on the coast you have people who they get music all the time, so they take it for granted.
Like they get jaded.
Yeah, and then sometimes now, because of that, overpopulation of bands, now in the Midwest where you don't get as many shows, kids are a little bit more precious about coming to see music, and I shouldn't say kids, people.
It's all right. I say kids too. I'm 35. I still call myself a kid. It's all right.
They're more. They know maybe they don't get 4 more shows that week. It might be the only show.
Right.